In 1870, industrial growth impacted our country. They call it the triumph of industry. Advancing very rapidly after the Civil War, co-production skyrockets and steel even more. And the reason for this is all of the abundances in natural resources. Another reason for this is thousands of immigrants, European and Asian. Consumerism. Yeah, that's right. There's Thomas Alva Edison, who made some neat inventions, phonographs and light bulbs. Large corporations ruled the business scene. And Andrew Carnegie became a money fiend. Rockefeller, Swift, and Armour are all the wealthy financiers in the 19th century. What we want to know is, are they robber barons or captains of industry? Survival of the fittest. Yeah, social Darwinism. In 1890, citizens feared monopolies, so the Sherman Antitrust Act was said to fix everything. William Graham Sumner promoted laissez-faire to override the government and make things unfair. Workers were treated poorly, hardly making any money thanks to Carnegie. Knights of Labor tried to fix this, but their plan was ruined by the Haymarket riot. 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours for what we will. What? In late 1880, the AFL was created and ran by Samuel Gompers. And in 1886, a group called Anarchists was formed by all these riots and Henry Frick. The Pullman strike was started, Eugene V. Debs was jailed, Cleveland's plan would not fail. Since he was the president, Cleveland made the strike end with military help. Protect railroads. Yeah, no more Pullman strike. Between 1880 and 1920, 18 million people came. They greatly populated our large country. Citizens called them greenhorns. Angel and Ellis Island were home. Passage to these islands was difficult to own. Polio and tuberculosis prevented the immigrants from fulfilling their wishes. Although they were hated, a man named Irving Berlin contributed all that he could. God bless America. White Christmas. The end of the 19th century showed America how life would be, urbanized by industry. Cities grew more complex, technology advanced, electric trolleys and skyscrapers put people in a trance. Suburbs were created, tenements are where they live, no one could be content. A middle class emerges, entertainment grows important, social gospel is sung. Dwight L. Moody. Yeah, religious renewal. After Reconstruction, railway construction boomed. The South was facing difficulties from literacy to farming. The boll weevil had ruined crops, made farmers find new jobs. Sharecroppers had big debts, and blacks were stripped of their rights.
Again?
The Ku Klux Klan terrorized blacks about their rights. Superior were the whites. Cultures clashed in the West. Land is taken from natives, no more Indians. Native Americans. Yeah. Get spiritual. In 1830, the Indian Removal Act came to be. Natives had to go to reservations in the southeast. The largest public hanging in American history happened just because the natives didn't want to leave. General Custer and his army faced a great misery at the Battle of Little Bighorn. Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce put his mark on history with a peaceful, reluctant tribe. Century of dishonor. Yeah, pretty mean. In 1887, the Dawes Act made the heavens cry by forcing assimilation. And in 1890, the feds outlawed the Indians' ghost dance. It's caused a great big massacre at a place called Wounded Knee. But looking on the bright side, gold and silver were found inside California. And Western land was deemed as a place for economic development. Prospectors, yeah, and miners. In 1869, the Transcontinental Railroad was aligned. Leland Stanford had a golden stake he used to finish in time. Millions of Americans set foot in the West, and the era of the cowboy added a little zest. Cattle were in big demand, so herds were rounded in and placed on an open range. This era proved to be a quick one. Once the weather turned things frozen and lots of cattle died. Dead cows. Yeah. Things get worse. The late 19th century was called the Gilded Age. Many problems surfaced, including poverty. Racial inequality crushed a lot of dreams. The Jim Crow laws were in effect and they were pretty mean. Mexicans wanted their land back, so some men called the Whitecaps destroyed the railroad lines. Chinese discrimination was a problem in our nation, so the immigrants were banned. Chinese Exclusion Act. Yeah. Perma-banned. In 1900, Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Stanton raised respect for women and their rights came back from the dead. President Garfield was assassinated, so the Pendleton Act was put into place. Populism expressed hatred toward the federal government. Farmers were so mad. They hardly made money, so they formed a farmers' alliance and the Populist Party. Lower shipping rates. Yeah. Go farmers. In 1896, William Jennings Bryan sits as a favored candidate of the Populist Party. He supported the coinage of silver and declined the gold standard. He made farmers happier with the sureness of his words. But he lost the election to the Republican William McKinley. Though the populists had fallen, their principles were taken in as laws of the progressive era. That's politics. Yeah. No one can resist. So there's the complete history of how industrial America